Let's cross live now to Marco Gasich, who is an international affairs commentator. Thank you very much for joining us. Should the world sit up and listen, as Russia's envoy said Ukrainians have been made to be guinea pigs in these US alleged biological experiments?
Certainly the world should sit up and listen. It's not just about what the Russians say, it's about what the facts reveal, and the documentation which is in the possession of the Russians and others shows very clearly that there was and is a live biological weapons program established to over 11 cities in the Ukraine. This biological weapons program, Victoria Nuland calls it biological research. The State Department denies it exists at all, but the reality is this is biological warfare, and it's spread across Georgia, Ukraine, and Central Asia. And these unaccounted for, unsupervised internationally biological weapons programs represent a clear and present danger to the region, the countries involved, and the wider world, including the European mainland itself. And as such, they must be investigated.
Well, as you say, there are conflicting messages coming from Washington and actually Ukraine as well. They deny biological weapons programs there, though the US Under-Secretary of State has admitted so-called research facilities in the country. It does suggest, doesn't it, that they're hiding something?
They are. I mean, they're hiding the fact that in 2005, they came to an agreement with the Ukrainian government of the time that they would establish these biolabs, these bioweapons labs. Each one of these at 11 locations in Ukraine with a budget of just over or under $2 million has been established by the Black and Veatch Corporation over an agreement in 2008 and 2012. The facts are there, they're known. Now, the question is what we're going to do about it. The US is clearly in breach of the Biological Weapons Convention, and indeed Ukraine, which prohibits the development, the production, the stockpiling of these deadly, dangerous diseases that are undergoing experimentation at these locations. It's time that we activated Article 6, which has never been yet activated, of the Biological Weapons Convention, which is that a state party, in this case Russia, can bring the matter to the Security Council, which can agree to mount an investigation. And if the Americans have got nothing to hide, why would they oppose such an investigation?
Yeah, certainly that's an interesting question, to put it mildly. Do you think, though, that the international community is actually going to take heed of what the Russian envoy has mentioned today, or do you think that it's going to be dismissed by the international community due to the unprecedented current anti-Russian media storm?
Well, first off, it's not just the Russian representative. The Chinese representative spoke of 300 such American labs spread across the world, including in Africa and Asia. And if there is if the international community wants to stay alive as an international community, it needs to get a handle on what is going on in its locations at these places. It's no use the international community closing its eyes to these things, because the things that are being developed here could eliminate their countries if they're released. These are pathogens that make the recent virus look like a cold. So really, if the international community sits idly by and allows these things to be developed on the countries involved, then it's committing a breach not only to world security, but the security of its own populations, to whom it should be answerable.
How confident are you that a proper probe into the bioweapons development program, the claims that have come forward now, how confident are you that there will be this probe in Ukraine?
Clearly, the US will do everything it can to stop such a probe happening. It will be activating its allies. It will be trying to change the subject. I notice now they're talking about the completely irrelevant subject of chemical weapons. Now, let's talk about those so that we don't talk about the biolabs, the biological warfare labs that have been found and exposed. I mean, the US assumes that everyone are idiots. And the fact is that the population is being encouraged to think in very shallow, emotional terms about this entire issue. But what we have here is a matter of the utmost gravity. And an investigation, if it doesn't happen, will leave this as a danger to the planet's door that will be ongoing. We must get some control over the US biological weapons, a worldwide military program. If we don't, we'll all suffer.
I mean, some harsh words there, and quite a dramatic warning. Thank you, Marco Gasic, international affairs commentator, for joining us here on RT. We appreciate it.
Thank you.